Now NASCAR Cup Series goes to Atlanta, Jeff. You got this interesting situation developing with Chase Elliott, despite the fact that he missed 7 races. And now he's only 55 points out of the cut line. And I think Jeff Gluck was figuring out that like the 16th place driver, he would need to make up, an average of 6 to 7 points over the next, whatever it would be, 8 races for Chase Elliott to point his way in. Atlanta is a track where he won at last year. Atlanta is now a drafting track, super speedway style track like Daytona and Talladega. Give me your handicapping Atlanta and specifically Chase Elliott, the defending winner, knowing that it seemed like we were talking winner else for this guy, and this is an opportunity where he could win at this place. But now suddenly it almost feels like there's a points path available to the playoffs, as unbelievable as that might seem for Chase Elliott.
There's a point path, but still everything has to go his way, because, what we're not counting on is what happens when the guy that's, we have another winner, and now the guy that he has to beat in points is more than 50 ahead of him, right? Mm-hmm. So that last car in on points can keep changing based on who wins races. So yes, there's a mathematical way for him to point his way in. If you look at the races he's had since he came back, it would indicate that he is going to point himself in. But at the same time, we haven't had the winners that move that cut line, that make it more difficult for Chase. And of course, I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody does know what's going to happen there. So I think that the team probably still is of the mindset that they need to win to get in. But what does that mean? Like, what do you do different? You know what I mean? Like, Alan and Chase aren't sitting there doing, well, we need to win, so we better try harder. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So what do you do? I mean, you go into the last few races with the mentality of I have to win. Then you might play some different strategies. You might do something like that. But it's not like you can just flip the switch and say, oh, we have to win, so we're going to run better. I mean, they would already be running better, which, by the way, they ran pretty good this weekend. So there's a pathway in points, but I think it's more likely winning is the real pathway. This weekend's a great opportunity for them. Hendrick cars are fast on this style of racetrack. They like you said, they won there already. Yeah, I mean, and Chase needs a rhythm, and I he missed so many races, and then when he got back, then he got suspended, then he had an off weekend. Like, it was like the team now has like 2 races under their belt back to back, and now they can start building some rhythm, and I do think that matters. Do I think Chase will make the playoffs? I don't know. I know that Alan Gutherson and Chase Elliott are more than capable of making the playoffs, and they're more than capable of contending for championships. But so was Martin Truex, and he didn't make it last year. So it's it would be hard for me to imagine somebody can miss 7 races and point themselves in. That's where I'm having trouble. However, Alex Bowman, he missed the races he missed, and he was still in. He was still in when he. So I don't know, but this is a good weekend for them to quit talking about points and win a race.
Yeah, probably won't be talking much about points over the course of Sunday night's race. Any other thoughts about Atlanta? I mean, it does seem like this is one of many X factor races that we have in the NASCAR and NBC run up these 10 races into the playoffs.
Yeah, when I watch the races from Atlanta now, what I think about is the importance of track position, and the balance that the teams have to make between qualifying and race. The spring race in Atlanta was the first time that we qualified cars there because of weather. And if you remember, there was a car hit the wall. We had multiple cars had major incidents. Like, it was not like Talladega and Daytona qualifying. It was some big moments. And that was teams learning, like, what are the adjustments you have to make a Q lap versus a race lap with 0 practice. So yeah. I'll be really interested to see how they've adjusted to that and to avoid those bad qualifying runs. And then this does not race like Daytona and Talladega. It's a much tighter. The radiuses are much tighter around the corners. So it's, how do you make a move? If you're running 8th with 4 laps to go, how in the heck do you get to 1st? Like, how do you do that? And I think all the teams and drivers know that track position is king. And from the moment they drop the green flag, that's what's going to be the race, is get track position and do not give it up. Because I just don't think you can make passes like you can at Daytona and Talladega.
And that track position trade-off is different in qualifying, whereas the narrative at Daytona and Talladega, anybody can do it, just hold it flat. That's different in Atlanta. That qualifying concept doesn't exist. Yeah.
Well, it was different now look, it got better as qualifying went on.
Yeah.
Teams saw their teammates having problems, so they made massive air pressure adjustments. They made adjustments to what they were doing. And so it got calm, but the first 3/4 of it, first half of it or so, there was all kinds of things going on. So I don't know what to expect. The other thing is, it wasn't hot in the spring, and it's going to be hot this weekend. And that means, and how much has the track lost grip?
Yeah.
There's no practice. Again, here we go. There's no practice. There's, just go off and race, and teams have no idea what the grip level is compared to what it was in the spring because of the heat and also because of just tired racetracks wear out just sitting there. They lose grip, and how much grip has Atlanta lost? And how much I don't know how the teams guess at that. I don't know how they guess at that. I know they have a lot of tools, but at the end of the day, it is somewhat of a guess.
Well, unknown grip levels, really slick track, drivers with no practice. I think what you're telling us, a lot of reasons to watch both Sunday night and Saturday from Atlanta Motor Speedway, NASCAR and NBC.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.